Welcome, and thank you so much for joining me today. We are journeying through adulting, particularly with the issue of how to make a living year in and year out. I have a mini course for you today: how to do two things at once and when you should. So, the two things are to live fully in the present and have an eye on future planning. Do both. This is a very difficult terrain for those of us who have to make a living. It's certainly not your daddy's job market. The average adult holds more than 12 jobs between the ages of 18 and 54. The gig economy has spiked like never before. Almost 40%, according to some estimates, of Americans participate in one way or another. Corporate HR functions, which we once hoped we could rely on, they're very preoccupied with compliance and who gets what parking place and all kinds of stuff like that. We have a good bit of federal money goes into career services, but over the decades I've been watching, they have mixed results and aren't really doing all that great for us. So that leaves us on our own. And so I believe that it's worth my spending my time and asking for your time to look at some models. How does it really work to do two things at once? And you've all heard the expression yin yang. There is the picture that depicts yin yang, and I'm a longtime practitioner in Chinese martial arts, and I'm always told it's not yin and yang, it's yin yang. I practice Tai Chi regularly to improve my own balance and focus. And I'm very fortunate to have an expert Sifu who is my teacher. This is deeply rooted in the balance of yin yang, which means complementary forces that create harmony. And just as yin and yang are interdependent, so too are the present and the future. When I moved here to Knoxville, Tennessee a few years ago, I went back to the Christian tradition, which I have not practiced throughout my entire adulthood, having spent more time in Eastern traditions. And I'm now happily a member of St. James Episcopal in Knoxville. And some of our folks who go to that church have created this beautiful garden for us. And the garden beautifully illustrates the delicate balance between living in the moment and planning for what's to come. In the present moment, we water and we prune and we weed, but at the same time, we need to anticipate how the flowers we're tending will spread and grow. The Tai Chi movements, going back to Tai Chi, are often described as flowing like water. So we see in this illustration, water adapts to its environment, flowing smoothly around obstacles while still maintaining its course. So, once again, live fully in the present with an eye on future planning. And you know what? I know to try to do two things at once can really feel like too much trouble. When you've finished your work at the end of the day, you don't want to think about anything that has to do with work after that, do you? But I always say, well, what's the or what? Because if you don't spend a little time with an eye on the future, what do you risk? Burnout, feeling stuck, feeling disconnected, feeling numb, feeling bored, getting irritable. But imagining can be a little scary. Isn't this a wonderful visual image I got from my friend Betsy? Me protecting me from me. How do you do it? So, I've been a coach for a long time. I've helped a lot of people. You do it inch by inch, you do it a little at a time. You live fully in the present with an eye on future planning, and you allow yourself to have some big dreams, but you don't get crazy about it. And so, many of us have at our current or future lives have the idea of a romantic fantasy of living happily ever after and have the dream of having true love in our lives forever. But I've known people who just think this will magically happen. And then year in and year out, they don't go out and meet people and do dating and do the things they need to do to find a partner. So break it down to have a current goal. So the happily ever after fantasy gives you a chance to pursue your dream of true love. But what you do today, create a dating profile, get out there. You want to have your own boss? You want financial freedom? Okay, what sector do you want to operate in? Get busy and do a competitive brief. Make that your goal right now. You want to run a marathon? You want to be super fit? Start with a little walk every day. So, I will be sharing with you different tools about journaling, about goal setting, about how to chunk down the big dream to something to do right now in manageable bits. So, I hope that you will stay tuned, follow. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you tremendously. Work that satisfies.